Welcome back. This is Dave Gardner with the Writing with Gurus training course. You've invested yourself into some extra training, so make sure you are watching these videos. If I send you an email, make sure you open it. I can't stress that more. Make sure you put, that you're accepting it. You don't want to put it in the spam folder. It's not, trash. Make sure you're accepting those emails, and make sure you're reading the book. Okay, I can't stress that more. I can just tell you some information, but I'm not going to give you every single little bit. I want you to go through, because me telling it to you and you physically reading it, that's going to be two different interpretations. You're going to interpret it one way, through audio and through voice and through sound, but then you actually reading it is going to be another method of learning. Some people learn a lot better with writing things down and actually listening, versus listening to it versus physically acting it out and doing it. So make sure you're taking action in that regard. You're going to hear me say take action through almost every single video, but that's the key thing. I've benefited and I've succeeded in business because I've continued to take action. Okay, you're reading this book because I took action on this book, and I took action on putting this course together. You took action because you wanted to learn a little bit more, and I congratulate you for that, and I welcome you into my world, and I want to help you out as best I can. So what I want to talk about today from the book is that first chapter, my chapter, on what marketing did for me. Now, in the previous video, we talked a little bit about just, how I got into marketing. So I want to talk about that a little bit more, because that was part of the scope of that chapter. Okay, my chapter on what marketing did for me. Now, again, go back to 2009. I had dabbed in, places like eBay and things like that a little bit before, but I really wanted to take it to the next level. I had made some websites here or there, in college for, a master's degree class years and years ago, but they were just bulky and hard to do. If you think about programs like WordPress and, instant blogs that Pure Leverage offers, I mean, you're doing blogs instantly. Right now, whether it's, depending on when you're seeing this video, if you're involved in the Empower Network, they're doing things with their cell phones, for example, where there are apps allowing blogging to take place. You don't have to worry about, massive logins and, SEO and all that other hard stuff. It's going to be a lot easier to do with your phone. So, there's many avenues to get your content out there. The key thing that I learned is that when I take action, I see results. And I can't stress that more. If I can't stress anything else, this whole course, it's going to be that, taking action. I took massive action at certain times. I mean, there's been times where I'll go, a couple days or weeks where I'm not really building the business, but I'm actually working on things outside and getting those ideas to click through my head. The key thing is, when I needed to, I took the action. Daegan Smith put an offer out there that he was going to try to help build, a couple thousand member subscription base list for people just by talking about some of the information they've learned from Daegan and his course and his home business agency. So I took action on it. I made a video. I talked about what I'd learned from Daegan's courses, and I didn't win it, which is fine. Okay, it would have been great to win it. But what I did was he actually gave us a bonus of a free consult. Now, normally he might charge a couple $100 for the consult. So I spent some time with him on the phone. He recorded it for me. So I have that available to me, and it's all about the idea of focusing on something. Now, that doesn't mean you can't focus on many things. I like to focus on a lot of things. So I like to learn, and I like to figure out what's going on in every different avenue. I like to have my, as they say, my paintbrushes and many different paint trays, I guess. The whole point being is I took action. Okay, I took action. Another example, it was a couple months later after that, Omar Martin, who I've been promoting for a while, had an affiliate sale, and I learned and used some of the techniques from another course that I'll tell you about in a second, and I applied that, and I ended up selling, where I normally sell maybe 1 or 2 products, I ended up selling 10 different products in a very short time during his launch, and I ended up winning part of his contest. I won the most unique bonus contest, which was for $100, but I also won an iPad. And all because I took action. I got my name into that pile a couple more times, and I won his iPad. If I didn't take any action, I would never have won it. And the other thing, that course that I used to implement and to take action on, and to actually apply the knowledge that I learned, was Russell Brunson's .com Secrets X. And what I did was I used some of the information even from Omar's course and the sales that I made with Omar's course, and I ended up winning Russell's .com Secrets X trip to Kenya. Now, I spent about 10 days in Kenya with not only Russell Brunson and his wife, but 15 to 20 other well-known marketers, people like David Fry, Armin Morin, okay, the guys behind TrustGuard. You've seen those symbols on the bottom of websites. Okay, Scott and Garrett, those guys were there. There's just, all these other well-known marketers that have donated their time, donated their money to help build schools in Africa. Now, if we take a couple steps back, I love traveling. Now, I spent a semester in Central America when I was a senior in college, and I worked in the fisheries department. And then I went over for 2 years and spent time as a Peace Corps volunteer, and I was actually a teacher there as well. I taught both science and math in a boarding school in the Solomon Islands, which is northeast of Australia, right below the equator. So I'm in the middle of the tropics. So I've always had that affinity to going over to other places, seeing how other people live, and trying to give back and help other people help themselves. That's one of the main key ideas with the Peace Corps, is to help others help themselves. The same thing I want to try to do here with you. I want to give you some of the tips, some of the strategies, some of the techniques that I've used and that I've learned in the past and that I've actually applied and I've seen benefit me. And I want to give you the shortcut so that you can actually take that same information and apply it into your business so you can see that growth as well. The key thing, again, as I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's all about taking action. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're doing something. Maybe you wrote a blog post today. Don't just write the blog post, but make sure you put it on pingler.com, Pingler.com. You can submit your blog post, you can submit the title, and you can submit up to 3 categories. And what that does is it sends it out to the search engines, and it basically syndicates your content. So instead of just randomly people finding it, you're sending it all over the internet in fractions of a second. Now, at the same time as that's propagating, copy that link and post it onto Facebook. Now, what that does is it gets people maybe back to your blog. Now, don't just post the link, but maybe post a picture of what your link represents and what your blog post represents. So when people actually click on the picture, they think they're going to the blog or maybe to a YouTube video. It might open up the picture, but then your link's over there. And Facebook really thinks it's just a link, or excuse me, just the picture, but in reality, it's going to be going to a link. So they might give you more credit instead of having them think that you're taking it off the Facebook website. They think you're just promoting a picture, which they think is really cool, but people are going to see that, and then they're going to maybe share your picture. And then it becomes viral, and things start to spread, and more people and friends of friends start to see your blog post. So make sure you still have the link to your actual thing. So the way I do it, the method I follow, is I post the picture first, or upload the picture first, so the picture propagates, and that's what Facebook reads. And then what I do is I put, a sentence or two based on what the content is, and then I pop in the actual link to the post. So people will actually be forced to post that link, and then they'll come back and they'll see your blog post on your website. Make sure you tell the people to take action. Tell them what's going on. Give them a small hint. Keep the idea of, that curiosity factor in there. Maybe a little urgency in there. Maybe if you have curiosity and urgency together, people start to click on that link. Now, if you're going to post a video and do the same process, make sure it's not just the YouTube video. Don't post the YouTube video. And I just learned this the other day, and I'm not really sure where I heard it from. I think it was from my Magnetic Sponsoring Elite program that I belong to. But what I want you to focus on here is if you just post the link to the YouTube video, what's going to happen is they're going to see a link and they're going to see a picture and a screen with a play button on it. If they click it, it'll play in there, but it might not necessarily affect your YouTube views. If you want to draw people to YouTube or back to your blog, what you do is just maybe do a screen capture of part of that video so it looks like the play button, but in reality it's just an image. So what you can do is you can get them and you can drag them back to your blog instead of clicking on the video, because if you click on the actual video, sometimes it just takes them to YouTube. And if they watch it on YouTube, then there's a problem. But if you embed your video on your blog and send a clickable link or just a picture with the clickable link on Facebook, they end up going to the blog instead, which if you embed it properly with the old embed code, use the old embed code, not the iframe stuff, but use the old embed code if you can, unless your system doesn't allow it and only uses the iframe. And what happens is, even though it is not on not on YouTube, every time you actually open that video or someone goes to your blog and looks at it, it actually propagates and shows the views going up on YouTube. So now we're starting to build our brand in multiple locations, not only on Facebook, because you're engaging traffic there, but you're putting it to your blog, and also it's going to send the numbers to YouTube. So again, we want to have multiple ways where people can see your stuff and your stuff starts to grow. But the key picture again here, take action. So what I want you to do, one of your goals today, again, like I said, is do a blog post, put something on Facebook. You want to spread your stuff around. And you don't necessarily have to talk about, a product. You can just talk about you. Let people get to know you. Maybe go for a walk out in the woods or in your backyard and just talk about emotions and things you're feeling about starting a new business. Maybe you're scared shitless. Okay, excuse my language. I apologize. Hopefully I didn't offend you there. But maybe you are. Maybe you're scared and you don't know what to do, and you're going to help someone out because they're feeling the same way. So maybe make a video, make a post, talk about your feelings, and let people get to know you and how you're actually starting to build your business. Then you can later on bring that in when you start talking to other people and say, okay, this is how I felt, and this is how I was, but I continue to take action, and this is the growth that I've seen over that year. You know, I had my first sale in the first month, you know, on eBay, or my first sale somewhere else. It's about continually taking action. Little steps right now build up to huge growth over time. So again, I can't stress enough with this first chapter the idea of taking action. I'll tell you a little more about taking action tomorrow and some of the benefits and the ways that I've took action to actually benefit myself and to grow not only in the marketing field, but in another niche as well. Okay, again, I said I'm passionate about the game of lacrosse. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those things as well in the next video. So make sure you watch that next video. I'm going to send it to you tomorrow. I don't want to have too much to you right now, but I just want to keep talking to you about things that you can do to take action on. Again, I welcome you to the course. Anytime you have questions, send a comment. Hit me up with an email, DaveGardner@MagneticSponsors.com, and I look forward to working with you. You can also catch me on Facebook. Go to Facebook.com/TheDavidGardner, and you'll get my Facebook fan page. All right? It's been good sharing this information with you. Hopefully you found some benefit to it. You know, come and leave a message. You know, put a comment below if we got that space open yet. And just share with me what you've learned, and share the website as well. I appreciate if you share this content and bring people back into the site so that they can learn as well. Again, it's been great talking to you.